Oh, Jay, no.
You're gonna have to go look after yourselves and do some stuff in your own. You both sound into roof running?
Oh, I'm bad at it now. The only thing I'm good for is typing fast.
That's sick. Mac,
Huh?
can you teach Dahlia how to roof run, please?
Yeah. That one butt coin.
I get it, but right now we're not getting butt coin if we don't get the jewelry. The jewelry gets money. Money just gets his circuit board just gets his butt coin.
Plum
Go
soju.
JP Wong.
Go JP Wong. I could. That would make us money
Is this
so
from The
fast.
Witcher?
It would get us 20. It would get us an
I don't know
extra
what this is.
25 butt coin per day, and then we could
Sky
actually do
Guardian.
this.
I think it's Terraria.
I
Still,
want
isn't
to
it?
want
Yeah,
us
it's still
too.
Terraria.
I could do it.
You have a key and you're on his panel. I don't see the issue.
I don't think it's against the federal government either.
Yeah, I don't, that's what I mean.
What is what?
Anyway,
They want to go JP Wong.
Oh, there we go.
They want to go
I have some
JP.
bad news for you.
Right. What is the bad news?
We have 2 meetings.
Huh?
We have 2 meetings. This one is with Ziggy.
I have worse news.
Okay,
Don't
which
worry,
meeting
I'll
are we taking
be
first?
short.
Yeah, Max
Ziggy's
news
here.
is worse.
Oh.
It's okay.
So,
The dongle's 100 now.
Is it the tier 3 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On which PC?
Oh.
Both?
Yeah. Oh, did
Okay.
I turn the other one off?
Well, you better turn the other one off.
All right. Cigarino, I'm listening.
All right. Don't worry, I'll be short. I know you have, a fuckload going on, so. So I had a thought.
Yeah, I know.
So I was thinking, since, I probably shouldn't, take the job or even put myself forward for it. I was thinking, whoever does come along, or whoever you guys, decide on putting in that position for commissioner or whatever, I figure, should that person, just need
I just
any
signed
sort
in.
of advising or counseling on literally anything, I wanted to see if that was an availability, or if there was any possibility or interest for that, because I figured that would be something that I could do, being relatively unbiased. Obviously there's things that I know now and
Deputy
am involved
Commissioner,
with
I
that
guess, would be the
I'm not gonna put forward in the actual decision making, but I at the very least can give previous experience advice, and I figure an advisor to the commissioner
Okay,
would be
I guess about
something that I'd
22
be more than
months.
comfortable doing.
All right. I guess that would be. What would that position be? Deputy Commissioner, or is there like a
God, that sounds
Advisor.
terrifying.
advisor?
It would be like, yeah, it'd be an advisor. Yeah, deputy commissioner sounds terrifying. That's yeah.
Yeah, we can keep that in mind for sure. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just I have to go back and
Yeah, no, I
sign
know.
in because I need to double read the thing because I think he might actually have stuff in there about a commissioner, which is
Mhm.
I don't understand because they made it seem like there wasn't like the way they talked about it is that they would be fine with having a commissioner or a chief of police, but they
Mhm.
made it sound like that wasn't the case, but it's literally in there. So I don't know if they've even read this thing or if this is all based on the conversation they had with him.
Mm. Okay.
So I need to go and sign into my job and then so I can check the MDT.
Yup.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Well,
yeah.
either way, if it's a possibility, I'd be more than happy to help.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, that's it. I'll just keep it short, simple for you. Advisor
Keeping-
to the commissioner if we can.
Yeah, keeping it $1.50.
All right, fair enough. Okay, thanks guys. I'll just
Thank
see if
you.
you'd let me out. Thank you, Jen.
Night City, yeah.
On my side of it or no?
That is up to you. You seem like maybe I was gonna say Ginny would also be a good candidate for it, but also Ginny said that
Jenny's a criminal.
Well, that's I know. She wouldn't. She would just be advising. She wouldn't be making any decision.
She's a
I'm not
filthy
a criminal. I'm not a criminal yet. Just not
Mm.
like
There you are.
to,
I am the only criminal in this room.
yeah, I'd just like to point you to my record, which currently does not say I am a criminal.
Soon to be criminal.
Listen, okay. I think we're all on that singular page in a way.
No, I'm a civilian.
Right.
I am
Government
the
employee.
only criminal in this room.
I am
I'm a
also
government employee, but I robbed 10 people yesterday.
Yeah, I'm a government employee too, actually.
Alright, you're all
yep.
fucked up.
I am not a government employee.
Technically, I forgot. I'm still a doctor.
I just manage a state-owned business.
Mm.
That sounds like you're employed by the government.
But the state-owned business doesn't pay me.
Oh,
I just manage it and do
Oh.
a fuck ton of paperwork and make sure everybody gets paid, but I don't get paid.
Wow, you should quit your job.
It's too late now. I still get calls no matter what.
Fair enough.
Easy go. Begin.
I'm in
Speaking of which,
shape.
that place was a hellhole earlier.
When is
Yeah, I
it
heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably go work there.
Okay. Anyway, all right. I'll get out of here. Jen, I think that that would be a conversation that you
Yep.
should
Yep,
have
yep,
if you
yep,
want.
yep.
Okay. Thanks,
Yep.
guys. Bye.
No problem.
Bye.
Boy.
Bye-bye.
Boy.
Alright, so what meeting are we going to?
Barrack.
Alright, where?
No, waiting for a reply.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and sign in that case. So I can read the empty. What?
Uh-huh.
What? McGregor?
Can we steal like 3 rides?
Huh?
No, you're not. You're not JP and Wong right now.
Why?
No, it's not needed, and we don't need the heat, and we don't know what group he's joining, and we don't need that.
He doesn't have he's
Dude, I've just told you both what to do. Go
Aw.
do roof running.
You're out of your PJ.
Yes, I'm ready to go outside today, Michael. I'm sorry that, I decided to, put on some appropriate attire for the outdoors.
Uh-huh.
Jenny, don't you think it's appropriate to wear PJs while doing her laundry in the house?
Ooh.
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Day
she was
pajamas.
she was also outside. In
Well,
I
Oh,
have
that's-
day pajamas. They're
What are
great.
day pajamas?
It's pajamas that you have a shower and then get back into for the day.
Oh,
I have those.
Yep.
I need day pajamas.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Reggie's car here?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. You don't know?
I don't know.
Whoa. Guys are... Where'd they go?
Oh, it is.
Michael, where did they go?
Food, I think.
No, Jenny is...
Jenny's right
she's
here.
gone.
What do you-
No, she's gone.
What do you mean she's right there?
No, she's gone, Mel. Your car's gone too.
Mm-hmm. I did put it away.
You're taking me on a trip down to the city?
Yeah, if you want to get the tea.
Yeah.
What?
How hot is it? Piping?
I'm waiting.
I-
What's up?
I got
Pretty.
out.
What? What did you do?
Ah,
What did you do?
Ooh, McGregor.
What did you
I
do?
think I got 7 or 8 more thingies.
Say that again?
like,
Sorry,
right-
say that again.
I got a job right before tsunami. I got like 7 or 8 more.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just put it on the list. Can you tell me how many you actually got?
I don't remember how much I got.
Did you get 7? I'm putting you down for 7 then.
Are you fucking overballing me?
You can't tell me. It's your job to keep track.
Excuse me, Saul. I'm trying to drive.
If I put this moonshine in the glove box, am I gonna get charged with it?
I'm actually stuck.
Oh, I mean, why are you getting pulled over so your car is, sir?
True.
I mean, don't give them a reason to search your car. You're good.
I usually don't. I think I usually pull over and don't run.
Yeah, you're good. Just don't tell them it's there, and you'll be great.
You think if I drink it at the meeting that the captains are gonna charge me for it?
I mean, I would.
You would?
If I was pissed off with you.
Why are
in
you pissed
BA
off with
and I
me
watched
though?
you No, if I was pissed off at you, and I saw you do something like that, and I could prove that you still held it, I would 100% do it.
I'm gonna put it under the table so nobody can see I have it, and then I'm just gonna grab one and take a swig.
Okay. Wait, does that mean you're doing your meeting?
Drunk?
Like, you're doing your meeting with fucking junk of moonshine?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, I dig it.
Also, why would they be upset with me? They're upset with Max.
You're an extension of him.
I guess. Have you heard any of this stuff, Aaron, that Max is trying to do?
No, man, I'm a criminal overlord, okay? I don't hear about any of this political stuff. This is a whole different world for me.
Well, I thought Max talked to you guys.
Not about, like, business and stuff. And to be honest, we don't see them as much. Like, I don't even really see my new mom. I keep,
Your new
we
mom?
keep getting pulled into separate things when we even need to do the adoption papers.
Oh.
Give me the tea, give me the tea. Spit it out, Michael. Also, look at
Max
the photo I
wants to
texted you.
take over the PD with Michael's help.
I don't think it would. I don't think it's a takeover.
It's a takeover. They have oversight. That's
No.
takeover.
Have you read the?
Yes.
Have you?
I've had it read to me. Yes.
Yeah. There is something
I've had it
about.
read to me 3 times.
There's something in there about commissioner though, and everything.
I know. I explained it. When I was never not talking to anyone about this, because nobody ever talks to me about anything, I didn't actually explain what it said to them at all. I definitely didn't understand what it was saying and trying to explain that to somebody. Definitely not.
Okay, can you try and explain to me or to Aaron then?
Okay, the reality is they're looking for a yes man to oversee the PD that is in conjunction that works under you guys. So they would have the idea of a commissioner role, which is what they had before. It's basically one step removed from a Senate position where they will have somebody that is in place that will be under you two. They're about back to you, in which they can influence the PD and the decisions they make and lead them in the correct direction while also taking your influence from you guys. So technically, while it is a separated role, it is still a yes man to the mayor's office.
Okay, how, and this is just me asking questions, how is it a yes man when it's for a PD to make a
Because
list
they're
of people?
under you.
Okay, yes, but the PD is the ones that select these people that we will then
Right,
review.
yes.
And put into
You would
pos-
review and pick the most reasonable one that will let, because that's just natural human nature. You will pick what is most suitable to your needs and what you need, ipso facto, somebody who will bend to your will should it be needed. Is going to work with you.
Correct, but at the same time, if they choose people that we can then bend to our will, they chose wrong, right?
Right. Not necessarily. I mean, there's 2 sides to every coin. Just because your outward appearance is that you are a committed member of PD with who would never steer you wrong doesn't mean that's not you're not smart enough to play the game and know both sides.
I
Know what
guess.
will benefit you to keep you in the position of power while also cementing further your position.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so basically Max and I will tell PD how to PD.
Basically, from how it sounds, which is why my suggestion was they work in conjunction with you and not for you. Because then you separate that idea of ultimate power. Because really, it doesn't matter how you word it. The fact that they're under you gives you guys unlimited power.
Unlimited.
And also, I'm going to
power.
put it this way. I know why it works because I am the perfect example of somebody who can play both sides at the same time because I did it for years.
So, how do you feel about that, Michael and Jenny?
Well, I'm fine with it. Like, I think there needs to be something done in terms of PD. I think personally that they might be overreacting, but it's also because they're only reading and not. Well, that's not even true. The
They're not
captains.
overreacting. They're not overreacting though. It's an encroachment of power, regardless of how you word it.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It's an
Yes,
encroachment of power, and you are stripping them of their power.
we're not stripping them though, but they
You
will
are.
not. They will not be the definite power. They will be taken down a
Exactly.
notch
You're-
with
so
somebody
you're-
above them. I know.
That's
it's
a stripping of power.
I know, and it's human nature to be defensive about losing that power.
Yeah, it is, and that's why they're never going to see your side. It's the same way as like this is just. It's the Senate all over again. I've lived this situation. We were considered ultimate power with nothing above us. Bass and Pred couldn't see eye to eye, so they needed to be an extra party that was the overall eye of the PD that came in when things were falling apart, and they could make those choices and they could make those decisions. And the first time the Senate came in, it was a complete fucking meltdown. In the end, the Senate became a very powerful position that was needed.
Yeah, but it's not.
And
It's not the
yeah.
Senate though, because both him and I
I'm
can
using
be.
I'm using that as an example to explain how it doesn't matter how you approach it. There is people are going to see it as a power imbalance and a power grab.
Yeah,
That's how it's going to be presented.
Yeah, I'm just saying like comparing us to the Senate is incorrect though, because we can
I'm
be.
not comparing you. I'm comparing the situations of how you take power.
All right.
You have a
Alright.
changing room in here?
No. I'm just gonna sign in, then we can go and you can get changed.
Well, I just, I don't feel very professional currently in.
You want to feel professional?
Well, if we're going into this fancy ass building and we're talking like politics and shit, then maybe.
It's gonna be a mess though. I don't know.
It sounds crazy. I kind of want to sit there. Someone's probably gonna get shot.
You got to think about this logically, Michael. In which case is that if you press that much power and you give it to one person, what stops them from saying that there's not going to be another election? Like it's not. It's all the subliminal stuff that can come with it. Even
Yeah,
though it's
but
unreasonable, it's still there.
it's a lot of if and buts, though. Again, but I
But
don't
it's a
know
lot
because I haven't
of-
talked to him.
Right, and you also got to remember that we're working
Why
on
is she
the fact
doing?
of
She's
like.
not.
for me
She's
at
seeing it
least,
from their perspective, and she's
I'm
not
working on
incorrect. Again, if you see it from a third-party perspective, it
history of
looks
that
fucked
person.
up. You are seeing it from a perspective of knowing what Max is trying to do. I don't know. The thing is, I had a conversation with the captains earlier as well. Like,
again, I also see the positives of having an oversight in PD. I'm not
Yeah.
against it. But and again, these are you asked not for my opinion, but for my understanding of it, and that's what it is. Personally, I don't give a shit.
do you think it's gonna affect you
Depends.
or the citizens of Los Santos?
It can do.
I'm not super familiar with like the workings of PD. What's the problem with going on that like?
The general gist of it is that it isn't so much that PD is bad per se. It's that there's a lack of PD. And that's
I feel that.
yeah, and that seems to be the general gist from everybody is that when you ask them like, hey, so what is your opinion on PD and what should improve? They're like, yeah, well, PD never shows up, and they don't do anything ever. It's like,
That's
okay,
a vicious cycle in itself.
yeah,
You get rid of the home timers that were willing to come in and train, and you give it to a smaller group of selection. They're going to burn out faster, and that means quality slips.
I know.
And you think
No.
this has to do with like the captains or
No,
is
I
that
think
McGregor in there?
No.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing. It's a thing with like choosing quality over quantity to an extreme degree.
It's okay, I lied. I don't want to change.
You don't want to change?
Okay.
Alright.
We're not in the
North
fancy
of-
building right now.
North of Court Center at the radio tower. You just said
North of the Quartz Center at the radio tower.
yes.
Where the fuck is that? Somewhere up there, I guess.
I don't know. It's a difficult thing because you're fighting against the reality of time versus the reality of the city. You've technically only had 2 months to put all these structures in place,
Mm.
but at the same time, the city doesn't allow you to have that time. So it's difficult.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, though. It's difficult because I see it from both point of views as well.
Same, yeah.
But again, I think it's from talking to the captains. I think from what happened at that meeting with the captains and Max, as much as Max is a loudmouth sometimes, and he states his opinion pretty straightforward, or openly, or whatever you want to call it. whatever happened at that meeting wasn't. I think she said or did something that really triggered him. And I don't think it was so nonchalant that she made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because
What happened?
apparently she made a comment because basically what is happening, right, is that the council is currently going to put up a vote that the mayor and the deputy mayor will be in charge of PD. And she made an offhand comment, from what I could tell, about, well, PD should make up a vote about the mayor's office being under the PD. Basically overthrowing, I guess, us, putting us underneath the PD. And she made it sound like it wasn't an issue and it was just an offhand comment. But if Max took note of it and made him blow up that way, I don't think it was just a small comment. There was definitely more to it.
So, in all this, with a new commissioner, what is the point of Nakoda?
To work with that commissioner and to have changes
Why
made.
would you have a liaison when you can just have the person
Lia-
at the table? Yeah, the commissioner at the table.
Because why would the commissioner be at the table?
This commissioner is making choices about the PD.
Yeah, but that is
and
not.
has-
Yeah, that is not what that table is about, though.
Mm,
The table is about making legislations and do things for the people and for everybody.
but that's literally what the commission is doing too.
No.
Because they're going to enact those legislations and push them forward.
Yeah, but it's the commissioner is to keep the PD accountable and holding to a certain standard, making sure things are done correctly.
But isn't that what he's supposed to be doing as well?
Oh fuck! Is this a serious combo?
Yeah, it is.
I
I
should
can-
have changed.
Look great. Don't worry.
I do crime in this. Jenny, I
So
do
do
my
I. Don't
crime
worry.
in
So don't
this.
worry. I've gone to full meetings in my outfit that I've just.
I'm not fitting the scenario currently.
Nakoda's just an echo buck for the captain. I don't think he is. Nakoda has a lot of valid opinions and his own opinions as well.
I don't know how serious this conversation is going to be. It might be a snooze fest, just so you're aware.
I don't know if I should be here right now.
I can give you the keys and we can just call you back. If you want to take it for a spin.
I'm also nosy and I can, but I also don't want to be intruding.
Tell you either way, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm not actually that nosy, but this does seem incredibly interesting.
Hmm? It does.
It
Or
does.
does
It does. It does.
It is, and it.
But I don't want to like make you guys look bad because I look like a.
I don't think
I
you
look like a
guys are giving
degenerate.
Nakoda enough.
You know,
I'm
I'm not dressed for the occasion.
Okay, all right, Erin, that's bullshit. Well, how you stand and how you behave is a description of what you are, not what you're wearing.
I don't think it's like that everywhere, Jenny.
It is. You're empowered, so do it.
Nakoda
You can wear a
is.
bikini and still run a police department. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yes, Nakoda
you
is
sure?
the bond between PD and the mayor's office as well. But he also has his
I'm a
own
doctor,
opinions.
by the way.
Damn.
How is he useless though? What has he done that makes
I'm
him
also
useless?
not a criminal yet.
Oh, Dakota's texting me. Oh.
No bueno.
Just make Nakoda the
It's
commissioner
Derek.
role?
Okay, no, I feel comfortable now.
But that wouldn't work in our favor. Keep that in mind. Like, she's not incorrect that we obviously want somebody that is on our side. Nakoda would be very neutral in upholding. I also don't think he would want that position, but I don't know.
Hey Jenny, how come you can't go to those big meetings where
He doesn't
everyone
let me go.
argues? Why?
He won't let me be his assistant. Oh no, ask him.
Hey, Michael, can I be your assistant?
Why can't I be your assistant in the meetings?
Because there shouldn't actually be more people than Alex, which is the person that is taking notes. There
Sure,
shouldn't.
Etta has an assistant.
Yeah, and she shouldn't have. But that's
Mhm.
a different. That's a different talk for a
Mhm.
different day.
Hey,
Yo.
Derek.
Hi,
Hey.
Barrick.
Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Michael.
It's going.
Jenny.
It's going.
Yeah.
So what's well, first of all, thanks for coming up here.
Mhm.
But obviously, as I'm sure most people are aware, things
Mhm.
are probably going to be pretty intense today, and been around for a long time today, and they were pretty intense like 8 hours ago. Um, what's like your stance on the whole like legislation being pushed today?
You want my honest opinion or my tiptoe around it opinion?
Oh, it's your honest opinion. I don't really care for.
At first, I was on the fence about it, but then talking to people and hearing things, I am kind of for it, but not. Again, I think Jenny's explanation versus mine is probably different. I think there needs to be put something in place, and I think as a start, it would
Like
be
checks and
max.
balances.
Yes, and as a start, that would be Max and I. I think the worry that the captains and everyone else seems to be having is that when Max, if he does get that power, is that he's gonna remove everyone from power, which I don't think he will, because that's taken 2 steps forward and then 5 steps backwards. What Max ultimately wants is he wants the PD to move forward, but hearing and talking to people, it sounds like it's not. And then when you hear about some of the things and how things work, say, as an example, DAP. The captains are the one that will strike you, but the captains are also the ones that will then review said strikes. Which means that ultimately, even if they made a mistake in striking you, they will not see their mistakes. Because at the end of the day, they did the strikes themselves. So, what I have and what I need to talk to Max about, and I don't think I can do it before the meeting, unfortunately, is that we need to put somebody in place, either chief of police or a commissioner, that is more of a neutral party that doesn't go and do police work, but more does the internals of PD.
Now, is this person you expected to be somebody out from outside the police department?
That's the thing I don't know. I don't know if it should be an officer that is then taken from said position and put as a commissioner, or if it should be somebody that understands how PD works, but maybe not had the chance to join PD again, but could ultimately take that position. Or somebody like you or Jenny over here. Because Jenny has been in PD for a long time.
Yeah.
So she would, in theory, be perfect. But I also don't think it should be somebody that keeps being an officer. The bigger issue is that you're having officers that has to deal with other officers, right? And when you have people that have to enforce the rules on other people that, also have to enforce, they can look between fingers because you've been there, you've done that, you know how it is. Sometimes, you can let things go, whereas you need a party that isn't so lenient in that regards. If you catch what I mean by that.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is like just checks and balances for the people making checks and balances for everyone else.
Yes, and it's I know, and like Janie pointed out, like who's gonna check that person. Then when you need you have to keep adding to the pyramid. Who's gonna check on that person? Who's gonna check on the next person? Who's gonna check on that person?
Yeah.
But Pinehead, thank you so much for the brand new sub. That's why finding that perfect person that is kind of neutral but also can see it from both sides is what is needed. Because right now, from what I've heard, and a lot of people don't seem to, as much as the captains are probably fine, they also seem to be not pushing the PD forward in the way that they want. But you can correct me if that is wrong.
I don't believe I really know which direction they want. Like the real big thing is, and this was preached to me when I was hired and like promoted, this, that, and the other. Like accountability. That's the big thing. So if
and like Jenny have said as well, I can see the concern because this kind of came out of nowhere. But as much as I think Max is loud and the way he talks is very straightforward and he doesn't sugarcoat things, I don't think he's doing this to drive PD into the ground. I think he's trying to do it because right now we're having this conversation because he's brought all this stuff to it, like to the surface. He's kicking them right now, even though he's not in position of power. He's kicking them to make a decision and to get shit done. Because there's an obvious
Which is
problem.
how it should be.
Yes. But it shouldn't be the fact that he has to go to this extreme for this to be a thing. They should have done it by themselves.
I think the underlying thought is, and I'll just hop in here
Yeah, you're
as a
fine.
completely objective third party who has no stake in this whatsoever. The way that it reads is going to worry people because it is a stripping of power. And also, whoever, when you first read it, it sounds like a power grab. That's what it sounds like, straight off the bat. However, when you actually look at it and you start to dissect it, you realize that it is a place position in which someone is going to be put into there. That somebody that is a mutual party between both the PD and the mayor's office. The issue you have, which I've already said to Michael,
Do we know
is
of the
that,
Ruth
in
treason
my personal
statement?
opinion, the
Yes,
amendment
kind
needs to
of.
be that the
We
person
weren't
is
there, but
working in conjunction with the mayor's office, not for the mayor's office. Because naturally, if someone is working for you, it means that you are holding their best interests at heart, which means that they are no longer a mutual party. They are working directly for the mayor's office for their best interest. I do not think that Max is being bitter. I don't think that he is trying to overthrow the PD. It can be taken that way. I don't think it is. I think he has the best intentions because he's heard a lot of opinions about officers being unhappy. However, right now, the way that it writes is quite controversial. It is redeemable, and I don't think it's a negative towards the PD, and I don't think it's a negative towards any of the leaders. It is just an extra step to secure. It's the same thing that we always wanted, which was
yeah,
an oversight
quote-unquote
that
treason,
basically is separated from the PD. We wanted that since day one. We wanted it for a long time.
Yeah.
And like the captains were asking, was it the captains? I think it was either the captains or.
Yeah, my understanding is they went into a room with him earlier today, and I assume things did not go well.
No, they were kicked out.
Yeah, because like hours later he was, or maybe not even an hour later, he was like 311ing and 911ing, just a whole bunch of things. Yeah, and I don't really know what to think about that, but I do have PTSD from years ago with stuff like this, so to some extent. And
you should
while,
be valid.
Do I still have the document?
Very much care about both the police department, but also just the city as a whole, and I do not want things to fall by the wayside and us end up back there again.
Yeah, no, I get that. As you know, the PD is
there we go.
yeah, the PD is very volatile. What seems okay today may be absolutely unheard of tomorrow. So it's just a case of the way that they project it and the way that they put it forward and they implement it will be very telling of the intentions from the office.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what happened at the meeting because I wasn't there, but from what I could tell, it just went south. And again, with whatever comment that she did make, that he took it that bad, I think it means more than it wasn't just an offhand comment. Because as much as Max might be loud and pretty straightforward about things, that whatever she said definitely got to him. So
Without question, yeah. Struck a nerve or something along those lines.
I don't know if it's struck a nerve, but it seems like it. I don't know, because at the end of the day, as of right now, the mayor is the highest authority, right? In theory, other than the federal government.
But isn't Crane? Can he bat down a lot of things?
Maybe Crane and the mayor are no. I
will-
think the mayor is himself is Crane has a different type of power. Yes, he's a higher power, but if you look at it from the city perspective, I'd say the mayor is the highest power currently in the city.
Technically, in who can make changes and adjustments is the mayor.
And if she is trying to bite back and makes a comment about trying to overthrow the government, then I can see why he would be upset. Even if it was just you know, an offhand comment. Because again, I don't think he's going into this maliciously, and if they're just completely shutting it down and then makes comments like that, I could see why he would be upset. Let me do a document. You saw the 311s, right, Barry?
Yeah, I mean, I was on duty when it happened, so
Oh, all right.
I was witness to all of it, real time. And him talking about like arresting everybody and holding people accountable that didn't just go and arrest Ruth screamed to me like something had to have been something very specific to a certain extent.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it? Like, how would you feel about Max and I having a power, like having power over the PD, but also at the same time looking at putting somebody as a commissioner to oversee the captains and making sure PD is moving forward?
My personal no bullshit opinion, I think it should just be a chief of police that is appointed by the council or yourself and Max. And then you oversee them and they oversee the captains and the captains oversee everyone else.
Yeah. I think that's basically how it's put down in the document too, that at first that we will be the highest power because nobody is going to be in that position. And then PD is going to put forward names of people that should be in that position as a commissioner and then or chief of police. We will select that person and then they will be, you know, that in that position going forward.
Yeah. I think a commissioner might be necessary once maybe let's say there's like 2 or 3 departments actually formed.
Mm-hmm.
So then they
are the same
then
thing.
oversee like the chief of police and the sheriff or the warden or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then you would oversee the commissioner. But in my personal opinion, I don't think that's like a specific commissioner is necessary at this time, in my personal opinion. But I do believe a chief of police is because, at least in my personal opinion, I do not know if others share this opinion, but there is a culture difference just based off of how like the captains are. Like they're the leaders of their shifts and everybody kind of mimics them.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the only way to kind of subside that or you know start providing an antidote to the issue is having one specific person that everything is an envoy over or off of, whoever that might be. Now, I do not know who that is. I do not know if it's a captain. I do not know if it's somebody that's a senior officer. I don't know if it's somebody that's an officer, but what I know is somebody has to.
Yeah.
And one way or another, that is going to happen.
Yes.
Whether it's, you know, established this week that that's going to happen or established next month or 2 months from now, there's going to be people above them at some point.
Well, hopefully it's going to be soon. So we can try and fix whatever. Again, I'm not, like, the captains did say that changes have been made, people have been added, people are being trained, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's not something that's going to be fixed overnight. And if we want actual, like, quality, it's going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hey.
as everything,
Yes. How would you like to be commissioner?
it is not necessarily my dream, but I will do and make whatever sacrifices that are necessary for everybody that works here, everybody that lives here, and everybody within this entire city.
All right.
That has lived here, that does live here, that will live here. All that I care about is making sure everybody's happy as best as I can.
All right. I will note that down, and then we'll see what happens in the future. Because again, we do want, if we go this route, and if it's you guys putting those names forward, you want to make sure that it's obviously the best names for a job like this. I have some names in mind that could be of interest, but I don't know. Like you being one, flop could be another one, maybe. Roads, but again, I don't know if people would even be interested in this position, because you, in theory, would be taken off the streets to run
To a large
PD.
extent, yeah.
It's a great job.
No, that's not that the amount of fucking sarcasm in that
No,
comment.
I'm being dead serious. I fucking love not having to go out on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
but you still
absolutely
could
loved
if you
that.
wanted to, right? You would
No,
just mostly
there were
be tied
days
up
in
with.
which you would just wake up and you just never left the building.
And yeah, because you got a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But
McNulty.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
It was fun. That was the meeting part was the best part of PD.
yeah. I don't know. I just
2 hours. Like
it very much needs to be somebody that's available,
2 hours and
somebody
40
that's
minutes.
personable, somebody that isn't just a straight fucking hard ass and has been their entire life, somebody that actually has empathy, somebody that actually cares about people, somebody that is actually gonna take the side that they're most comfortable with, and then take the other
Preach!
side and weigh them accordingly,
He is preaching.
and not just be a fucking asshole to everybody. I don't know. Talking about those kind of roles, it's very passionate for me, because I'm just worried,
Yeah, and that's what we
and
want.
I've seen a lot of failure to a certain extent, and maybe not failure as a whole, but little things that people could have done better that really rubbed people the wrong way, or made people lose faith in their police department, or make people lose faith in just the citizens as a whole, or no, vice versa. Citizens losing faith in
Barrick as a cop is fucking
police.
amazing. I love him.
And I just,
He's a great cop.
I don't. And quite frankly, I'll be entirely honest. Years ago, I strayed away from anything like this, because I personally would constantly reiterate that I personally did not feel that I was ready. And after plenty of time away, I strongly feel that that is different. So no matter what this ultimately comes out of, or whatever position it might be, I will be going for it, if I'm given the grace to do so.
Okay, that's good to know. And if it comes to it,
Because I feel that I have the people's best interest in mind.
Yeah, and that's what we want, is to make sure that everything is being done the right way, and everything is like people are treated the way they should be. Again, I don't know, because I haven't been involved or told. Like, as an example, people getting suspended for the strike point system, the DAPs, whatever you want to call them. Something I would want to see is, because right now, like I said, the captains are the ones that are striking people, but they're also the ones reviewing the strikes and the suspension. And I feel like somebody else should do that, because if they do it because of personal reasons, or the strike itself is incorrect, that could mean, that either the strike is valid or invalid. And they will obviously not see that problem, because they're the ones that strike them in the first place. And that's, like you said, you need somebody that is neutral, but also has a heart and care for people, but also wants to look, on both sides of things and everything in between. Because just one strike point could make a difference in a suspension.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Denzel situation, which ultimately led to him being fired.
Just 1 point?
He had 9 out of the 10, and he was scared shitless. He was trying to do his entire job by the book, and underneath the San Andreas Bridge, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area. I'm sure Jenny, you are, like the homeless
Indeed.
camp area, and
Yep.
we used to run through to work. He put somebody down there off to the side of the road, and there just happened to be somebody walking down the sidewalk, and they got hit by the car when they got pinned.
Rough.
And on top of that, it was the person that was fired before him, Officer Gregory Johnson. But you know, that's a separate subject. And then after review, you got that one dab for that. And that's I just broke the camel's back. It was over.
Yeah. And that's why having that reviewed would be great, because is it gross negligence or is it a mistake that could happen? And is it something that could be justified to some degree and people just get a warning instead of actual striked? And
I mean, it was a mistake that could have happened to literally anybody in the entire force.
Exactly. And I get that you need to make an example. I get you need to make sure that you enforce these rules. But there is always a time and a place. And if you guys are already down bad and this officer did something that warranted a strike, but is also something that could happen to basically anyone, then maybe it would just be better to let that one not slide. Obviously, they would get slapped on the wrist, but not at that point for that suspension. Because in the bigger picture, that would be better, right? That's one more officer on the streets. If anything, he could go back to training, or he could, get a penalty. He do fucking bike duty, whatever.
How serious are the dot points? What is the...
I'm just going to tell you straight up. I spent 90 minutes to 2 hours at home reviewing paperwork of a PPO, which I may or may not name, and going over an entire list of all the things that he's done wrong or all the issues recently. And hold on.
If you have a trend of those issues, I agree. Then it's a problem.
And I had to sit there just pondering and pondering and pondering, because if he got in trouble
longer than the statute of limitations.
Sorry.
That's insane.
Oh, she pointed it out instantly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good.
Just reading. Okay, sorry. Just reading that broke my brain for a second. Oh.
But I essentially had to review over all of this, and the more and more I looked at it, the more and more I saw that if he was dabbed for each and every one of these situations, he'd be fired today.
So why isn't he? If that's the standard that is being upheld on other people, why is he not fired? It's because you're the one reviewing it?
Because thankfully it was passed down to myself, Alice, and Flop to deal with and come up with a proper judgment.
So because you're saying that it was passed on to people that actually care about the PD and other people, that he is not suspended, because you can see the bigger picture of having this person in the PD. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, I'm not going to throw the captains under the bus like a majority of people do. I do believe that they do care about the police department. However, seeing the bigger picture is this person is valuable and we need to keep them here, I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know if they would have treated him with leniency the same way that we chose to. I do believe that some of them would, if given the single option to.
No accountability? Okay, that's just big. Let me ask. All right, so let me ask you this. You remember how 5 years ago people complained about PD not being held accountable for the things they did, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the judgment that you've made on this person would be counted as he's not being held accountable? Or do you think he was being punished for certain things that would justify being punished for, or did everything just get slid under the rug?
Well, I mean, first
Jazzy,
of all,
thank you so much for the brand new sub.
all of these things that he's being punished for are things that have happened. It's all like officer on. It's all like blue on blue stuff. It's nothing to do with like civilians.
Okay.
It's all paperwork. It's all attitude. It's all this, that, and the other. Like just talking back and stuff like that.
There you go, chat. It's not about
A lot more
accountability.
paperwork.
It's about internal shit. Yeah, because that's one thing I'm worried about.
And
Is
just
that
making jokes.
yeah,
Making
exactly,
jokes.
exactly. That's what I'm worried about. Is that if you go to the extreme, that people cannot make a joke or state their opinion without getting a strike, that is a problem as well. And I get that you shouldn't talk back to your superiors, but sometimes voicing your opinion isn't a bad thing.
There is a difference between insubordination and criticism.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Let me ask you another question.
Mhm.
In the theoretical, just like situation, I'm not saying this happened. It might have happened, but let's put this in perspective. Let's say in a world where you guys are like officers or something along the, I won't say military. I don't think that's a fair comparison. But like you have a superior that essentially asks you to clean some shit out of like the backseat of a car.
Right.
Like and straight up just like demands you to do so.
Okay. Can I asking questions? Is it your vehicle? Were you part of the scene? Is it in the SOPs to clean out the vehicle, or can you hand off the vehicle for somebody else to do the cleaning?
It's I don't know if there's anything particular in the SOPs about regulation and stuff like that. It was not the person's vehicle. They simply walked by, observed, and most likely made a joke of some kind.
Okay, so the person, it wasn't their vehicle. They were not involved in whatever happened at the back seat. But they were asked to clean it
Let
up.
me call you back, please.
Yeah. While someone
No,
else
I'm
was
not.
cleaning
I'm
it up.
from the mountain.
They were essentially, in this situation, they were demanded by an officer to do so. They refused. They were demanded by a senior to do so. They refused.
And they had nothing to do with whatever happened. They were just asked to clean up the vehicle.
Beyond walking by and probably made some kind of joke or something like that.
And they got strike for that.
It was certainly up for debate, and it was one of those situations.
That
Now, mind you, it was vomit in this situation, not shit, but
right.
biohazard, same thing.
Okay, I'm of the opinion that if it's your vehicle and you were part of the scene, and if somebody threw up, it is on you to get that clean. If you do it yourself or if you hand it off to somebody, but using your authority or your power to tell somebody to clean it up, I would not agree with.
Need a bit more context. Sorry, I got that phone call.
Is it
so
just
what actually happened?
Is it just an officer being asked, or was it a?
Is it
So I'll lay out
Okay.
the context here.
TLDR me on it?
There was a suspect that threw up in the back of a cruiser, along with an FTO and their cadet. Well, the FTO and the cadet didn't throw up. It's just the suspect in the back of the cruiser. But anyway, afterwards, cadet is cleaning up the back of the cruiser. In comes a equivalent of a solo cadet, which they call PPO now, and they essentially stand by, ask them what they're doing, and probably made some kind of joke. I do not know. I was not there. To which the FTO, just officer, instructs them to help them. And then they refuse. Of then which 30 seconds later, senior officer asks them to do the same. They once again refuse. Under the pretense of they believe that it is immoral, not just, and there's somebody out there that would probably clean that out as a profession, like cleaners and stuff like that.
And
And this, to me, is a line in the sand of people on one side of you just listen to authority no matter what, and then the other side of you gotta have some empathy for people.
I am half and half because I guess if they
Well,
made a
we
joke
don't know what
and
happened.
weren't doing anything that
Was
would
he
affect
making
the
jokes at
fellow
the person
cadet-
cleaning it
cadet,
out?
I'd have been like, okay, you get your hands dirty too. Then, if you think you're better than him, you do it too.
Yeah.
If it would, that's where I would be. Is my kind of something. If they were doing something that would negatively impact the person that I was training, I'd be like, okay, if you think you're better than them, you get to be in the sand with, you get to be down with them. Then you get to be on their level too. You have to help clean. But if it was genuinely just a comment in passing, I mean, I guess I would say the same thing of, hey, you carry on being like that and you'll be down there with him. I don't necessarily think I would order them to do it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. If it was just a comment in passing and there was nothing,
Wasn't directed or
Yeah.
anything like negative, then I would have probably been like, hey, remember who you are. Remember, you can be down there too. And remind them of their place. But I think like if they were actually doing something that negatively impacted me, my cadet, I'd be like, okay, you're not better than him. Go down with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm in agreement with that as well. But if it was like just completely, but I'm also very much of the opinion like I would not ask somebody
this is
to
just
do something
teaching
that
the
I would
chain
not
of command.
do with them. Essentially.
This is the same. Like I would never be able to be in the military.
But I don't know. That's
Ever.
just
Having somebody
me personally.
have the authority to
that's,
yell and scream at me to do something, I would not be able to handle that ever.
I think it's a morality
Like
question. To a certain
seeing
extent,
how
if
like
you take the joke out.
Yeah.
But
a drill sergeant can just tell you to eat shit basically, and
you
that's
can
just
say it's
what you have to
hazing,
do.
it's
I
power
wouldn't.
tripping, this, that, and the other. It's
mean-
up to personal interpretation.
Hazing is a very loosely used in the city. Hazing should be done by the FTO to build confidence and build relationship with the person that they are in. It should not be used like, you know, when like, okay, part in case cadet goes on a traffic stop, they know they're a cadet, so they're calling them a cadet. No, you don't have the right to do that. We call them a cadet. I call them a cadet because that is hazing. You call them an officer because you are not in that place of power. That's kind of the difference. Is hazing is supposed to be something that makes them embarrassed enough but builds their confidence. It's not supposed to be bullying tactic, and it's not supposed to be a you're beneath me tactic. It's supposed to give them a sense of what you're going to be going up against. It's already shitty out there, so you give a taste of it, but know that we have your back. Should it be malicious?
Yeah, I agree. I just hope things work out for everybody. Some people, it probably won't. But you reap what you sow. And I think after the next few days, it's going to be very different. Be very different.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think neither Max or I want the worst for the PD. We want the best. And I think it might not be translated in the way that it's been put forward, but I think that is the case. I don't think Max, as much as Max, like I said, is a very loud person, he's not malicious in this regard. And I don't think we've done anything as the council to be malicious towards anyone as of yet.
I haven't gotten to speak to Juno, but that situation seems rather interesting.
I think that situation is more personal than it is malicious. I think Juno and Max had a bit of a falling out, which was reinforced at the last meeting we had. But I don't want to talk for either party, so... So yeah, you're probably better to talk with her and get it from her. Because I only got informed about it today, that she was relieved of her duties.
I don't. I do want to reiterate as well. I do not